Hello, my name is Matt Brown, pastor at Abiding Word Lutheran Church in Houston, Texas. I also have the privilege of serving our South Central District on our mission board. Today, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our mission efforts that we're planning here in our district, specifically in a part of Texas, down in the Rio Grande Valley, down at McAllen, and to ask you for some help on this project. Before I talk about that, I want to tell you a little bit about our synod and our mission efforts we've been undertaking the last couple of years. 2 years ago at our synod convention, we adopted a plan to start 100 new missions in 10 years. This work has already begun, and this past spring, 9 new missions have been funded. Many of them already have pastors. Planning for new missions, 100 new missions, is a big task, and it doesn't just happen. A lot of work goes into it. I'd like to tell you today a little bit about that work as it relates to our mission efforts in McAllen. New missions start in several different ways. Sometimes there's a group of WELS people in an area that aren't served by a WELS congregation. They meet together for Bible study and have a desire to reach out with the gospel. And so they approach our mission board and ask us to help. Other times, congregations identify a location near their church that they're not able to serve, but it's rapidly growing and they have some members there. And those members are part of a core group that starts a new church. Or a mission board identifies a growing area where we don't have a WELS presence. That's the case with McAllen. So why do we pick McAllen? We pick McAllen because it's a rapidly growing area. Population is increasing dramatically over the last 10 years by tens of thousands of people. And it's not just people crossing into Texas, migrating from Mexico and South America, not just winter Texans. There's people that are staying in McAllen, doing business there in industry and distribution and medical fields. McAllen is also a part of Texas that is underserved by our WELS congregations, but there's a lot of people there, people who need to hear the gospel. As we looked at that area of Texas, it's the 8th largest county in the state of Texas. There's people continuing to move into that area, and we like to reach them with the gospel. And that's another reason, because there's not a real strong church presence in McAllen. In fact, McAllen is one of the highest rated places in the South of people who identify as none. They have no church affiliation. There's a lot of people in that area that are nominally and culturally Catholic, but they're not connected to a church where they worship at regularly. And these are the people that we'd like to reach with the gospel. And here's how you can help. We're trying to talk to people in McAllen, not necessarily people who would be prospective members of this congregation, but people who live in and work in the community, people that we can ask about the community so we can learn more about the needs and opportunities as we put together our mission request for our district mission board and our synod's board for home missions. And this is what we're asking of you. If you know somebody in McAllen, a relative, a friend, a business associate, anybody, if you could reach out to them and ask them if we could contact them. We just want to ask them questions about the community and get their feedback as we put together our request. The way we're gathering this information is we're asking you to send it to one of our district mission board members. His name is Mr. Mark Hartman, and you find his phone number or his email address. You can send that information to Mark in either of those formats. We'd ask you to please contact those people and let them know you're passing their name along. Share with us how you're connected to them and then the contact information for them. Our plan is to have our mission counselor, who is bilingual, speaks English and Spanish, to go down to that area later this fall. He'll reach out to those folks and try to schedule a visit and try to learn more about the community as we put this request together. And finally, the theme passage for this 100 missions in 10 years that our synod has is that God is able to do immeasurably more than we ask or imagine. And that's not through us, it's through his power working in us. St. Paul writes about that in Ephesians chapter 3. And so it's exciting to think what God might do in McAllen, more than we can ever ask or imagine. But that's the kind of God we have. That's the kind of work that God has always done, more than we could ask or imagine. He did it when he sent his son into this world to die for us, to redeem us from sin and death and hell, and to claim us as his own. And now he sends us out with that glorious gospel message to other places in our world, in our country, places like McAllen. Thank you for giving this your time. Thank you for your prayers and support. And please talk to your pastor if you have further questions. Be happy to tell you more about our mission efforts. God bless your day.